Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thanks very much for watching this, and all the people who leave me comments. I really like the comments. You know, I don't even mind the insults. Well, Larry gets to me a little bit, but Larry's made a request. He actually wants me to read a poem. So I'm going to read a poem for Larry. That's Larry the Goatman. You know who Larry the Goatman is? He sent me one of these, trying to inspire me to get a goat. But I ain't getting one, folks. I've got a dog, actually. Sometimes take the dog for a walk round the pond. But the dog doesn't scream, only when I sing, which I will be doing at the end of this. So I'm going to talk about HMP Pentonville. But before I get onto HMP Pentonville, which is a bloody disgrace, actually, but I will get onto it, I hope all of you who want to buy me a coffee will feel free to do so, because I'll be celebrating this weekend, because my grandson today got his cap and gown with a first-class honours degree, master's degree in engineering, so I'm celebrating tonight and all the weekend. Jack Daniels, you know. My wife doesn't like the idea, but bollocks to that. I'm just going to do it anyway. Right, so, first of all, I want a little mention to the two currently innocent men who are standing trial at Liverpool Crown Court for an incident at Manchester Airport, and I want your hearts to go out to them. Because in the dock yesterday, they stood up and they said that they were terrified of being brutalised by the police. That is why one of them hit this 5'2" 8-stone female police officer right in the snot box and broke it. So this is week two of a trial that's costing something like £20,000 a day to the taxpayer. That's you and me, by the way. And although I'm an old bastard, an old man, didn't want to lapse into the vernacular there, you know, I still pay tax. Thousands of pounds a year they take from me. Why? Leave me alone, I'm an old man. Hey, anyway, HMP Pentonville, let's get on to that. Yeah, it's in the news today, folks. You just got to have a look. HMP Pentonville in Islington, London. It's been listed as being malfunctioning. Do you know what they've been doing? Seriously, they've been failing to release inmates on time. 20% of the prisoners in HMP Pentonville shouldn't have been there. They should have been released weeks ago. 130 of them, 130 inmates, wrongfully and illegally imprisoned because they passed the date when they should have been released. Now that's an offence. And also, not only did they not release people on time, they held people who should have been released beyond the time, and they let 10 inmates out before they actually came to the end of their sentences, or at the period in their sentence when they could be released. So basically, they don't know what they're doing. Well, let me tell you this. When I worked at the prisons, going back a little while now, it was all pen and ink, paper. You used paper and ink, and you had notes, and you kept records, and the staff ran it. What's happening these days? It's all computerised. And listen, I've got money says that a lot of those computers are not run by staff, but by red bands who will be trusted, because a lot of the staff will be not particularly computer literate. I know, I've been there, seen all this. Charlie Taylor, who's the Minister for Prisons, is saying that Pentonville is a cockroach-infested dump, unfit for purpose. He also said that inmates are, on a general rule, being locked in 22 hours a day. And they've got the audacity to say that prisons are for rehabilitation. How on God's earth are you going to rehabilitate somebody who's banged up in a cell created in Victorian times, when Pentonville, 1850s, so it's like 175, nearly 200 years old. Yeah, so they got 2 or 3 people in a cell created for one person in the reign of Queen Victoria, and they're locking them in there for 22 hours. How the hell are you going to rehabilitate them? By the time they come out, they've lost all hope. They get straight back to where they were before. There's also, according to Charlie Taylor, he found cells were absolutely minging, that's a Lancashire term, by the way. It means filthy. There were missing bedding. The facilities weren't working. The sanitation was broken. Basically, it's a crumbling wreck. And somebody in the government should have the nous to actually say it isn't fit for purpose. We're wasting money on throwing it at this Victorian dump. Take it outside London, way outside London. Stick it in the middle of Dartmoor or somewhere like that, and build a Supermax thing and stick them in there. And all the repeat offenders, I mean, in America they've got 3 strikes and you're out. I don't advocate that. I mean, personally, because you get people who are doing things like stealing milk off doorsteps. They still have milk deliveries, I believe, you know. Anyway, I used to be a milk boy when I was 13. Carting milk round. 5 o'clock in the morning, loading all the crates up. Yeah, anybody who's done that will know what hard work is. Yeah, people don't leave school now till they're 18. I'm only working at 12. I started on the paper rounds, you know. Up at 6 o'clock in the morning, delivering papers till 8 o'clock. Some snack, crackle and pop. Yeah, then off you went to school. Then you come out at 4 o'clock, 4:30, you're on your bike again, another load of papers. Sunday morning, up at 7 o'clock, got to lie until 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Yeah, try and get the kids to do that today. You can't get them out of bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they're still in bed. So basically, HMP Pentonville, that's a little rant for today. It's a completely rat-infested, cockroach-ruined, ignorant insult to society, and they've got the audacity to say that it's rehabilitation, that what we're about is rehabilitation. Also, apparently, the tagging system's failing. Of course it'll fail. You put it on the leg of somebody who doesn't want it on the leg, they're going to take the bastard off, or they're going to smash it. What are you going to do with them? There's no room in the prisons. The prisons are full. They've got people like Lucy Connolly in there who put up a few naughty words online because she was deeply frustrated at the fact that some ethnic minority individual had murdered 3 schoolgirls in Southport. And that Southport shithouse, he's now saying he's going to commit further offences in prison. Let me tell you this. When I worked in the prison service, I was for a period of time working with the recruitment board. I was only doing the medicals because I was a nursing officer. But I asked the head of the recruitment board, I said, tell me. I said, I worked in the prisons all over the place, and there's some very strange staff. I said, there were. I've told you about them on here. I said, tell me, what are you really looking for? He said, we're trying to recruit the biggest psychopaths in Britain. Well, I think he was succeeding. I'd met some of them. But it kind of worked, you know. It did kind of work. I mean, you didn't get gangs running the prisons. I mean, anybody that kicked off on the landing used to pick them up shoulder height and run them down the block where they got introduced to the school bully. And believe me, you'd only want to meet him once. I mean, I knew the guy. He was actually a very, very nice guy. Very easygoing, played crown green bowls and all that. But that was when he wasn't the school bully. His other name was Bootsy, by the way. You can see him on that video of Strangeways Jail. He's a great big hefty guy talking about how social workers have got the whip hand. Well, what they're doing today is, I believe what they're doing is, before they recruit prison officers, they're doing psychological assessments. And what they're trying to get out is get all the psychopaths, all the people who've got potential for violence, get them out. They're not coming into the prisons. So you step in the prisons with the whole Stess Brigade and a bunch of wet behind the ear college boys. And when they meet an angry man, what do? Woo! That's what they do. Woo! Don't do that. Stop it immediately. Whereas, if you go back just a little while into the 1960s, 1970s, early 80s, what you got is, I ain't going to tell you twice. If you don't stop that immediately, you're going flying, boy. You've got a trip down the block. They only went once, unless they're complete maniacs. Anyway, that's my rant for today. HMP Pentonville, unfit for purpose. And the problem they've got, of course, is where do you live if you work at Pentonville? I've just had a look. I mean, don't take my word for it, folks. Go and have a look. You get a shared room in a flat. Seriously, shared room in a flat. £800 a month. That's just a shared room. Nothing else. I mean, that's more than a week's wage if you work at Pentonville. It's just ridiculous. They're not going to staff the prisons in inner London. Get them out, stick them in the remote areas. If people want to go to prison, and they obviously do, otherwise they wouldn't be committing offences, then stick them out in the wilds. Oh, they can't get visits from the family. My heart's bloody bleeding. What about the poor bastard victims? Nobody thinks about that these days. I think the world's gone mad. Listen, I had a request, as I told you at the start, from Larry the Goatman. Larry lives in Rotherham, by the way. Listen, somebody's got to live there, haven't they? And it's Larry, with his goats. And he requested I do a song. So not a song, no, he wants me to do a poem. He wanted me to do Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Well, I'm not doing that. Yeah, so this is a poem for Larry the Goatman. And also for a young lady called Hazel, who lives in Newport, in Shropshire. She's the mother of Aidan, and Aidan is one of our contributors on here. He puts little notes up. You may have seen him. Yeah. Anyway, he calls himself Shogun, I believe. So if you see that, that's really Aidan. And this is for Hazel. Hazel, this is from John. And you're doing well, young lady. You got a fine young man there. This is a poem by Rupert Brooke, The Soldier, specifically requested by Larry the Goatman. If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by the sons of home. And think, this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind, no less, gives somewhere back the thoughts by England given. Her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends and gentleness, in hearts at peace under an English heaven. That was for Larry the Goatman, and a honourable mention for Hazel in Newport, Shropshire. It looks a very nice place, actually, a market town, isn't it? It's got a river running through it. So now I'm going to do you a song. I've got to first of all, of course, warn you. So I'll ring the song dinger. That's an alarm bell for all you sensitive souls out there. The alarm bell of the song dinger. And we'll get a second opinion from Larry's goat. What do you think? Should I sing? Shut up, you daft goat. Are you ready? This is a song that was made famous by the Animals. And people used to say I look like, what was his name? Yeah, the lead singer of the Animals. Anyway, this is The House of the Rising Sun. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drunk. Oh, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. I sincerely hope you liked that. And if you did, then on Monday morning at 9 a.m. I'll see you on A1 Landing. I've got a syringe full of Largactyl looking for you. It's got your name on it. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton.